So, what is your hero's journey story and how do you tell it on your webinar to drive conversion and sales? Before we jump into it, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button so you never miss a video that will make you more money. Also, you can grab my free course on webinars down in the description below. So let's jump into it. How do you tell your hero's journey story on your webinar to build conversion and sales? This is one of the biggest things that you must master in your webinar. It is the number one way that your audience gets to know, like, and trust you, and you get to build rapport with them. If you've never heard of the hero's journey story before, I would recommend checking out A Hero with 1,000 Faces. It's a book you can find on Amazon. It'll walk you through this. It's basically the archetype of the hero's journey story, but we are going to use it on your webinar with some very specific changes. Stay tuned to the end of this video. I will go through my hero's journey story for you so you can have an example and see how all of this works. All right, let's jump into it. So the first thing is you have to know what pain points your ideal avatar has. The people who are coming to watch your avatar, make a list of all the pain points you can think of. Grab a whiteboard and just start writing out pain points. What are the things that they are really struggling with? Once you have this list, you want to look at where your journey started, because the point of a hero's journey is you start over here in pain and suffering and having a challenge that you need to solve, and you go on a story arc and you go on this journey to break through all of those things, and you get to where you are today up on the mountain, right? Most of the people coming to your webinar are going to be looking down, they're starting down here. They're starting in the same place that you were. They're at the beginning of their journey and they're looking to you up here on the mountain. So your pain points need to align directly with theirs. So you need to come up with your story. The first part of your story is going to show those pain points and build rapport with people. Once you've built some rapport with them, then you're going to show them how you overcame challenges, how you move through things. You usually have a light bulb moment. The light bulb moment is the moment that everything changed for you and things started to fall into place. A tip that I'll give you is the light bulb moment. That moment when everything changes should correlate directly to what you sell. This is how you create an open loop and drive them to buy later in your webinar. Once you've done that, you want a little bit of the journey of how you use that light bulb moment to get to where you are today. Then you want to paint the picture of how great life is right now, and how when you're talking about how great things are right now for you in this area, it needs to be the dream life that the people down here at the beginning want. So you might be saying, well, how exactly do I do that? I'm going to give you a formula that works almost every time. You want to start off with a sexy hook. So the sexy hook is a moment that you were in immense pain. It's usually what caused you to change. So if we were using weight loss, you would want to say, I woke up and I just couldn't get out of bed. None of my clothes fit. I felt horrible. Nobody was going on any dates with me. I just didn't know how I was going to be able to change. That's a moment of pain. You want to walk them through it. You want to get as graphic as possible. This is the sexy hook that draws them in. Think of a soap opera or your favorite television show. They usually put this on the commercial to get you to tune in. Next up, you're going to want to go through all the pain points in a very topical 30,000 foot view. This should take up 50% of your hero's journey story. After you've painted the picture, now you're going to revisit that moment. So the moment bookends that overarching story. So you're going to, oh my goodness, I couldn't get out of bed. For the last 6 years, I have been gaining weight. I've been working a whole bunch, and I just didn't have time to work out. My diet had gone out the window, and my life had gone downhill. Paint a lot of the pain pictures. I was trying dating apps, but I wasn't having any luck because my pictures were horrible. I was trying to get to the gym, but I just didn't have time. I was trying all these different meal plans. I was even trying some of those programs where they ship you meals in a box, but none of it was working, and I just kept gaining weight. That morning was my breaking point. I woke up and I finally got out of bed and I knew things had to change. I started looking online and I actually found this book, and this book talked all about a diet that would change things. The thing is, that book, it showed me how I could eat bacon and how I could eat steak and how I could eat my favorite foods and still continue to lose weight, it wasn't the perfect solve. I had to do a lot of research. I had to dive in. I had to meet with experts. But I learned everything that I needed and I started taking action. And over the next several months, the weight started falling off. I lost more than 60 pounds in the next 3 months. I was able to fit into clothes that I had never been able to wear. I started going on dates all the time. I started feeling great about myself. My boss actually gave me a raise because I had more energy at work and I was doing a better job showing up. That's a very simple hero's journey script that is a little bit generic, but I think you can see how everything plugs in there. Now, the last piece is that you want to put open loops in. You'll see that if you go back to the light bulb moment, I said that it wasn't easy, that there were things that I had to learn, and I didn't say what they were. That is an open loop. So an open loop is where you pull out the solve. And the trick is that you want the open loop to be at the end of your webinar. You want it to close in the sales that you make. This is one of the most challenging pieces of sales from any stage that you must master if you want to grow your sales. It's what gets people to move forward with you, because in order to close the loop, you have to buy. The challenge is for us, we want to solve everyone's problems. That's why we're here. That's why we do something that we love. But you have to pull that out. And the key to this is what people pay for is what they pay attention to. And if you give them the answer for free, a lot of times they won't act on it. But when they pay for it, they make a commitment to themselves. They have that energetic exchange that says, yes, this is important to me, and they will take action. This is how you build an open loop, and this is how you feel good about it in your head. So as promised, I'll go through my own hero's journey story with you. I'm going to give you the short version. In my webinar, this takes about 7 minutes, but here I'm going to give you the 3-minute version. So when I started, I worked in restaurants and I knew that I had to do more. I had this itch, just like Neo in the Matrix, that I had to do more. I had to be more. It took several years for this to build to a breaking point, but finally I said, okay, I know that I want to speak on stage. I know that I want to change people's lives. So I up and moved to Las Vegas, and I decided to hold my first event. I rented out space at Treasure Island, I put $5,000 down, and I started marketing like crazy. I went through every penny in my bank account. I spent more than $30,000. Everything that said marketing, advertising, I did it. I was spending money on print ads, I was spending money on Facebook ads, I spent money on YouTube ads, I spent money on radio, I was even on television, and last but not least, I actually hired a guy to do the spinny signs on the side of the road in Las Vegas, and I got a booth inside a Lowe's parking lot, and I was trying to sell people to come to my event. Well, after 3 months of doing this, I had 2 people who had registered, and they actually came from that spinny sign, and I think they just wanted to humor me because my excitement about the event had been transferred to them. They bought tickets. I refunded those people, and I had to go down to Treasure Island with my hat in my hand and beg them not to hold me to my minimum, or I would have had to file bankruptcy. It was a low point in my life, for sure. I didn't know what I was going to do, but I knew I didn't want to go back to restaurants. Luckily, I had a friend who believed in me, and she said, you can move in to my spare bedroom. I believe in you. I know you have what it takes. So I moved in, and I started studying everything that I could on marketing, because I knew that the key was marketing, not holding an event. See, when I went into this, I thought holding an event was going to be the key because I knew how to hold events. I knew the physical part because I had worked in restaurants and hotels. I didn't understand the marketing. And the marketing of the thing is always the thing that makes the difference. So I went to the library, I started learning everything that I could, and I found this set of tapes that it was an old course that somebody had donated to the library. I didn't have a tape player, but one day I was driving to meet some friends for sushi, and my car did have a tape player. And I put one of them in, and I got to the sushi restaurant, and I actually stayed in the car and listened to the end of the tape. Through what that tape told me, and through some books that I had read, I started putting some things into action. I was actually able to sell out a small event and make about $8,000. Now that sounds great, but it wasn't enough for me. So I actually went to the person whose course it was. His name was Dan Kennedy. I went to one of his events, and I got to talk with him, and he called me an idiot. He was like, you're holding an event, but that's not where the money is. The money is selling from stage. You must master selling from stage. So I joined every program that I could. I spent that $8,000 plus all the money that I could get my hands on for the next couple years. I went through Dan Kennedy stuff. I went through Jay Abraham stuff. I went through Frank Kern's stuff. I went through Joe Polish's and the Genius Network stuff. And then I went through Russell Brunson's stuff. And I mastered this art of holding live events and selling from stage. After that, I was able to hold all the events that I want. I was able to sell from stage. I was able to build products and sell them from stage. And I was able to master webinars. Once you master the art of selling from stage, there's nothing that can hold you back, because instead of just doing sales calls and dealing with people one-on-one, you get to put your message out to hundreds and thousands of people and attract the right ones to you and close them effortlessly. That is the power of one-to-many sales. If you like this video and you know you want my help, leave a comment down below. I'll be happy to answer it for you. You can also grab my free webinar course in the description, or if you know you want me to build your hero's journey story for you, as well as everything else that you need to have a masterfully done webinar, there's a link down below where you can book a free call with me. It's a short call where I'll jump on the phone and I'll show you exactly what it would be like to build your webinar, build your deck, practice your presentation, get the sales funnel, get all the emails, and get all of it done with me holding your hand. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe button as well so you never miss a video that will put more money in your bank account. And until next time, take action, change lives, and make money. I'll see you soon.